Welcome. Most people know what it feels like to sense somebody pulling away from them. A relationship changes slightly. The replies become shorter. The energy feels different. And suddenly, the mind becomes restless. You start replaying conversations in your head and wondering if you said something wrong. Small changes begin to feel emotionally significant. A lot of people respond to this by trying harder. They send longer messages, seek reassurance more often, or put more emotional energy into keeping the connection alive. On the surface, it feels like love or care, but underneath it, there is often fear. Fear of losing the relationship, fear of rejection, or fear of no longer feeling emotionally important to somebody else. Buddhism teaches that attachment is one of the main causes of suffering. This does not mean caring about people is wrong. The Buddha was not teaching people to become emotionally cold or distant. The problem begins when our emotional stability becomes too dependent on another person's behaviour. When somebody's attention starts controlling your emotional state, the mind rarely stays peaceful for long. You begin searching for signs of reassurance everywhere. A delayed reply feels heavier than it should. Silence becomes uncomfortable. Distance starts creating anxiety. A lot of modern relationships are built around emotional reassurance rather than emotional balance. Many people are constantly checking whether they are still valued, still wanted, or still emotionally secure. The mind becomes trapped in a cycle of overthinking because it keeps trying to regain certainty. Buddhism teaches that life is impermanent. Feelings change, people change, and relationships change too. The more tightly we try to hold onto certainty, the more anxious the mind often becomes. This is why chasing people usually creates emotional exhaustion instead of peace. You stop responding naturally because the relationship begins to feel emotionally loaded. Every interaction carries pressure. Instead of simply enjoying the connection, the mind becomes focused on keeping it alive at all costs. The Buddha taught that craving creates suffering. In relationships, craving often appears as the need for constant reassurance, constant closeness, or constant emotional certainty. The mind starts believing that peace can only exist if another person continues behaving exactly the way we want them to. But people are not permanent. Neither are emotions. Buddhism teaches acceptance partly because resisting reality creates unnecessary suffering. Sometimes relationships naturally become more distant. Sometimes people grow in different directions. Sometimes a connection changes even when nobody has done anything wrong. Many people struggle to accept this because they believe letting go means losing something important. In reality, letting go often means releasing the constant mental struggle to control what cannot fully be controlled. There is a difference between caring about somebody and emotionally chasing them. When you stop chasing people, something inside the mind begins to settle. You stop analyzing every silence and every delayed message. You stop treating every interaction like proof of your worth. You begin allowing relationships to exist more naturally without forcing them to constantly reassure you. Ironically, this often creates healthier relationships. Calm people feel emotionally safer to be around because they are not constantly trying to pull reassurance out of others. There is less pressure, less fear, and less emotional grasping. Buddhism teaches that inner peace grows when attachment begins to loosen. That does not mean withdrawing from life or pretending not to care about people. It means learning how to care without becoming emotionally consumed by fear, control, or desperation. Some people will stay in your life. Some people will leave. Some relationships will slowly change over time. The mind suffers less when it learns to stop fighting those realities so aggressively. Peace begins to return when every relationship no longer feels like something you must constantly hold together through anxiety and overthinking. Sometimes the healthiest thing the mind can do is stop chasing what no longer moves naturally toward it. Thank you for being here, and take care of yourself.